looking at the recall process against Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. So quickly, sir, because of our time, I just wanted to explain to us a little from your own expert opinion on this recall thing, and then from the actions by the members representing in the Kogi Central. You saw the video where some person sit down, they were just signing on behalf of a lot of persons. I just wanted to comment generally on this particular issue and explain to us some of the points that I earlier explained to the listeners, please.
Well, Bishop, thank you so much. And but my worry, however, is that I pray and I hope that the Nigerian state should follow the recall process of Natasha diligently. But then again, I think that in recall process, there are things that need to be done. INEC has the responsibility to go back to Kogi Central and subject and authenticate and verify those signatures, and those that will participate in the verification are those whose signatures or those who are signatory to that petition. That's what the law says. That's what the law says. Therefore, I mean, and after the verification, and the verification should be done in the polling unit, and after the verification, INEC needs to also INEC needs to also perform what is known as, what do they call it now? Referendum. What referendum means is that the voters in the electorate in Kogi Central need to come out and vote yes or no. They need to come out in their constituency, perhaps in the polling unit, to vote yes, they want Natasha recalled, or no, they don't want Natasha recalled. Now, at what point in time do you think, or do we think, that referendum has become successful? At a point in time when at least 50% of the voters, the electorate, will have said that they need Natasha recalled. That's the process. Now, my worry, therefore, is that if these signatures have been subjected to verification, and it turned out that the signatures were actually forged by a group of persons, I am not sure whether they were actually forged, but if it turns out that the signatures were forged, I think that those who were behind this kind of behavior should be charged to court, because I know that the penal code also makes forgery liable. So they should be charged to court, and if found wanting, they should be sentenced. They should be sent to jail. That is how it should be. I don't have problem with the recall of Natasha. No, I don't have problem. But what I have problem with is that the recall must follow the due process. We must ensure that the Constitution that provides the Constitution and Electoral Act, the provision of Constitution and Electoral Act in the recall process must be followed to the letter. You can't sit somewhere and allegedly forge people's signature and take it to INEC, and you expect INEC to just stand up to go, oh, Natasha has been recalled. There are processes that must be followed, which is one, is that the signatures must be authenticated and verified. And you have to go back to the polling units in Kogi Central to ensure that the people whom you say that their signatures are on those petition, the signatures are on the petition, that they have come forward to say, yes, this in written is our signature. And when you verify that, you need to also And you need also to carry out referendum exercise. And the referendum exercise is where the people need to vote. Indeed, they want Natasha record or not. And at that process, at least 50% or more, or majority, 50% or more, which is now the majority of the voters in Kogi Central, would have said that they want Natasha record, and that's how it should be. When they say that, you can now begin the process of recall. That's what I think that needs to be done.
Yes, sir. Can I ask a question, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Let me just put it this way. In defense of this whole recall thing, do you think that viral video, that video where one person was signing different people, do you think that can also be tendered as an exhibit against INEC takes a decision in a hurry? Do you think that can serve as an exhibit?
Well, if that video is tendered and that video is vetted and it shows that indeed some group of persons were in their various houses forging voters' signature, it is not only going to invalidate Natasha's recall, but those who participated in forging people's signature should be charged to courts for forgery, because forgery is a crime under the penal code. So, in short, not both penal and criminal code applicable in both North and South criminalizes forgery. So they must not be allowed to just go away. Because you cannot say, because you want Natasha to be recorded and you go and forge people's signature. I just hope that that is a doctored video. But if it is not a doctored video, that indeed some group of persons sat down to forge signatures of the electorate or the signatures of the voters, I see and I think that that is beyond invalidating the entire recall process. Those who participated, those who were involved should be charged. They should be prosecuted. That's what it should be. Like as I had said, I do not have problem with Natasha recall. If the Kogi Central people feel that she is not adequately representing them well and feel that she should be recorded, they should go ahead and do that. But my worry, therefore, is that if you must recall her, let the process be in conformity or in tandem with the law, particularly according to the Nigerian Constitution. You must not rig the process. You must not carry out the process with impunity. That's what I'm saying. So people must realize that there's a process in this whole thing. You must subject the signatures to authentication and verification. And you must also carry out a referendum exercise. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't care if the people have decided to say they don't want her, but let the process be transparent so that we'll set a standard on how things are done. This is what I'm saying, and this is my worry.
Nat, you know, one of the things I always say on the program is that people can bend the law to suit their own advantage. You understand, sir? Now that the recall process involves a large number of a petition to be done and then signed, do you think there should be a change in this law to to frustrate the effort of some individuals that want to do this kind of thing, because obviously they know that a petition is to be signed, and then they are not doing it on the alone themselves in a particular house. What do you think should INEC should come up with so that future occurrences like this, the whole recall process, I'm going to put it, to eliminate the efforts or to frustrate the efforts on persons that want to take advantage by signing one signature on behalf of a lot of persons? Do you think there should be something that can be reintroduced to further make this thing to be able to checkmate these corrupt practices? That's what I'm trying to say.
Bishop, it is not about the law. It's about the impunity of the ruling elite. It is the rascality of the ruling elite. It is that is what need to be addressed. The truth of the matter, therefore, is that it is the impunity of the ruling elite that is making it that made them think that they can actually put some group of persons together and they will be signing people's signature allegedly. Because we have decided that we are not interested in doing things the way they ought to be done. It's not the law. The law is there already. The Constitution actually provides the process on which recall should be done. The Constitution clearly stated that the voters should be the one to sign the recall the petition. There is no way in the Constitution that is stated that a group of persons should go and sit down somewhere and be signing and be forging signature allegedly. So it is the impunity, not the law. That's what it is. So INEC does not need to do anything other than what the Constitution provides. If you follow the constitutional provision, if you follow it diligently and transparently, end of the day, Natasha herself will understand that the Kogi people, Central people, do not need her. The recall process actually took place. But not when you had gathered some group of persons and giving them, I don't know what what you may have given them for them to forge people's signature. That's what I'm saying. I'm aware that in some communities or in many communities, there are large number of persons, women and men, who do not have English literacy, who cannot read and write. The best they can do is thumbprint. Did you get them to thumbprint, or you helped them to forge their signature? If you did not get them to thumbprint and you have sat somewhere to forge their signature, that is why INEC needs to subject the signatures to verification and authentication. And if at the end of the day, after the verification exercise, and it turned out that indeed some persons really forged people's signature, I am saying that those who did that should be sentenced, should be put to trial. Because we need to build a society that has respect to the rule of law. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I am not saying that Natasha should not be recalled. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that if indeed the people of Kogi Central decide that they are not interested for Natasha to represent in the Senate anymore, let the rule of law, let the due process be followed. You can't get people to forge signatures. That's not how it's done. INEC must do its job diligently. The process must not be rigged. That's what I'm saying, Bishop. That's what I'm saying. We must address this impunity. It must not be allowed to continue. I had listened to them. I had listened to people on the television saying that Natasha is not representing them. Some of them said that she is ridiculing the culture of Ibera people. If that is enough ground for them to recall her, congratulations, that's a business. But I'm saying, whatever ground they want to recall her, the process, the law must be followed to the letter, because we must set precedents. We must set precedent that must be followed. That's what I'm saying, Bishop. Thank you.